Monday mornings always came too fast. The sun had barely cleared the horizon, spilling pale golden light over the half-finished frames of the apartment complex we were building. My boots crunched over gravel as I made my way across the site, the familiar cacophony of machinery and shouts filling the air. Excavators groaned and lifted heavy beams, trucks rumbled, and the smell of freshly cut wood mingled with dust and engine exhaust. I was 35, working as an excavator operator. It was hard work, and most days my body ached from the constant strain. But there was a rhythm to it, a mechanical harmony that kept the complex rising from nothing. My coworkers moved like clockwork, each action coordinated, yet chaotic. I loved the feeling of progress, of watching empty land slowly transform into something tangible, something permanent. That morning, though, the flow of routine was interrupted. While clearing a stack of wooden pallets near the edge of the site, I noticed something out of place. A small shape among the debris caught my eye. At first, I thought it was a discarded rag or a piece of insulation. But then I saw it move, a faint, almost imperceptible twitch. My stomach dropped. It was a cat, small, white with black patches, lying unnaturally still among the boards and debris. I froze for a moment, my mind racing. Something was very wrong. As I stepped closer, I saw the cause of her distress. A long, rusty nail protruding from her paw. Blood had seeped around it, and she trembled uncontrollably. Her eyes were dull, almost lifeless, and a soft, pitiful meow escaped her lips. I couldn't look away. My heart pounded in my chest, a mix of fear and sorrow. I ran over to my colleague, shouting over the din of machinery. "We've got a cat," I said, voice tight. "She's badly hurt. There's a rusty nail in her paw. We need to help her right now." He dropped his tools and followed me immediately. His expression shifted from curiosity to alarm when he saw her, lying, small and fragile amidst the construction debris. "You're right," he said, kneeling beside her. "We need to get that nail out carefully, or she won't survive the trip to the clinic." I nodded, but fear gripped me. My hands shook, and I couldn't bring myself to touch her paw. The thought of causing her more pain made my chest ache. My colleague moved carefully, gently pulling the nail free. She cried out softly, a small, plaintive mew, and I instinctively reached out, stroking her soft fur, whispering words of comfort, even as tears stung my eyes. "There," he said quietly. "That's done. We need to get her to a vet immediately." We didn't have a proper carrier on site, so I grabbed a cardboard box from the storage area and lined it with a clean cloth. I placed her inside gently, cradling her small body as carefully as I could. She trembled the entire way, curling herself protectively. I could feel her heartbeat, fast, fragile, through her tiny chest. Every little shiver made me anxious. I whispered to her as I fastened the box in the passenger seat of my truck. "You're going to be okay, little one. Just hold on. We're almost there." Her soft meows were barely audible over the hum of the engine, but each one made my chest tighten with worry. The drive to the veterinary clinic was tense. Every red light felt like a lifetime. I gripped the steering wheel tightly, my eyes constantly flicking to the box beside me. Every bump in the road made me flinch. I kept speaking softly to her. "Just a little longer," I murmured. "You'll be safe soon. You're a fighter. I know you are." She shifted slightly, and I felt her tiny heart beat against my hands. Her trembling lessened just a little, but she was still clearly in pain. I thought about how fragile life could be, how quickly everything could change in a single moment.
We burst through the clinic doors. The receptionist's eyes widened at the sight of her, and a veterinarian immediately approached. "She's badly infected. We'll need to start intensive therapy immediately and put her on antibiotics. She's fragile, but she's a fighter." Relief washed over me, but I could feel my anxiety lingering. She was in safe hands now, but every second of those first moments seemed stretched into eternity. I stayed by her side while they prepared for treatment, stroking her fur and whispering reassurances. "You're going to make it," I told her. "I promise you'll be okay." The next few days were a mixture of anxiety and hope. I called the clinic daily, asking for updates. "She's stable today," the vet would say. "She's responding well to the antibiotics. Her paw is healing." Each update brought relief, but my mind remained restless. I thought about her tiny, trembling body, the rusty nail, and how close she had come to death. Every day felt like a small victory, yet a reminder of how fragile life is. At home, my wife noticed my distraction. "You're taking this very hard," she said gently. I can't help it. She was so small, so helpless, and yet she fought. Finally, after several tense days, the phone rang. My heart jumped. "She's out of danger," the vet said. "The antibiotics worked. She's strong enough to be released." "Thank you," I whispered. "Thank you for saving her." I turned to my wife. "We're bringing her home," I said softly, feeling a sense of joy and relief that was almost overwhelming. When we arrived home, she was timid. I named her Luna, inspired by the soft glow of the moon that sometimes shone over the construction site the day I found her. My wife approached slowly, speaking in gentle tones. Luna's small black and white form twitched with fear, but within hours, she began exploring the house, sniffing corners and settling into quiet spots. She curled up in my wife's lap the first evening, purring softly. It was a small miracle. A fragile life, once so close to death, now safe, loved, and part of our family. Weeks passed. Luna grew stronger, more confident, and playful. She chased shadows, batted at strings, and curled up beside us every evening. She followed my wife from room to room, and her purring became a comforting constant in our home. Watching her, I was reminded of the day I found her, the fear, the urgency, and the tenderness. She had given us something priceless, a living lesson in patience, empathy, and love. Our lives were subtly transformed. Small moments, her soft purring, the brush of her fur against my hand, her little antics filled our home with warmth. She had gone from a tiny, trembling life at the edge of death to a symbol of resilience, trust, and the power of human compassion. Looking back, I realized that Monday morning changed me. That small, frightened cat taught me the meaning of responsibility, courage, and empathy. Compassion isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's about noticing when someone, or something, is in pain and being brave enough to act. Sometimes it's about patience, whispered words, and holding a fragile life in your hands. Luna reminds me every day that a single act of kindness can ripple through lives, transforming them. Sometimes saving one tiny life can transform an entire world. Life is fragile, but compassion is powerful. Even the smallest act of care can create lasting change.